Monday, January 11th, 2021. It is currently 3 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour. I am James. You are you. We are here for the beginning of what should be an absolutely great week. We're right here on twitch.tv/athomewithjames. I'm very excited about this show, but at the same time, I am very nervous about this show. Why am I excited? Tonight is the first ever sequel to an episode that we have done in 2020, right around the mid-year mark. We did Bold Predictions 2020. Tonight is Bold Predictions 2021. On tonight's show, we've got Sid Rock, we've got Sehar Manji, we've got Dave Kaufman. Now, you might remember moments ago, I said that I'm a little nervous about tonight's show. Here's the reason. As I host this show, I am simultaneously in the midst of completing my fantasy hockey draft, which is one of, if not the most stressful nights of the year for me. A night in which you make decisions based on the work, talent, and skills of others. If it works out well, glory is what is bestowed on you. If it doesn't work out well, then you live months and months of shame and embarrassment through virtual losses. Now, if you're out there and you're thinking to yourself, James, I don't know, fantasy hockey, for a guy that really picks on nerd, stuff, that's kind of nerdy. The answer is correct, but where you're incorrect is where I don't really let it take over my life until tonight. Right now, I'm looking at our queue. I'm about 3 picks away before I am set to pick. Throughout the night, I will be making fantasy hockey league picks as I host this show. I'm determined to find a way to do this in the most undistracted way possible. Now, I've got myself a safety net, and what I want to do is I want to introduce my safety net right here, right now. Let's welcome to the show, Dave Kaufman. Dave, how's it going?
What's going on, James?
Yeah, I'm doing well. How's your night treating you so far?
It's all right, it's just another night of curfew. I'm in lockdown. Can't leave the house.
Now, Dave, when you're on this show, is it fair to say you spend anywhere, as a guest, of course, from 15 to 20 minutes on air? Is that fair to say? Is that a fair estimate?
Yeah, I would say sometimes it's less.
Sometimes it's less.
Yeah.
How much less would you say?
Well, on the old Instagram shows, sometimes you'd bring me on with, 3-4 minutes left in the show. And
now, I think that is an exaggeration. And I would also like to say it seems like you're living in the past.
Well, it's just, we're talking about the past, James, so.
Yeah, that's true. We are talking about the past. Tonight, Dave, you will be here for the entire show because when I need to make my fantasy hockey selections, I'm going to lean on you to continue hosting the show for the 30, 40, 50 seconds, maybe even 1 minute that it will take to fill time. What do you think about that?
I think that's okay, but I've got something going on myself, James. So I might have to throw to you if I'm busy.
So this is perfect because I have to make a selection right now. So why don't you let the viewers on twitch.tv/athomewithjames know what's going on with you right now? Because I think we can see it. Dave, take it away.
So right now I'm currently trading some cryptocurrencies online. And I got to monitor my positions, make sure that I'm profitable in all of my trades, and make sure that I come out ahead because it's a lot of sharks out there, and I'm just a little small fish. So I'm trying to make some extra change for the wife while I'm doing that.
Yeah, and how much money do you think you're going to be able to bring in doing that?
Well, hopefully during the show I make I don't know, $5-10.
Okay, and how would you go about converting the Bitcoin into real money?
Well, I'm going to be holding this Bitcoin, but you can do it through a variety of exchanges or apps.
Sure. Now, how about that? That was pretty impressive on my part. I interviewed you on just an incredibly boring subject while going through hundreds of players until I made my selection.
That's pretty impressive, James, and I should say that while you were doing that, I was making $3 trading cryptocurrency.
So it was win-win for both you
win-win
and
for
I.
Both of us, yeah. Both of our attentions are divided.
not only are you a co-host tonight, but for the next little bit, you are, of course, a guest. Tonight's all about bold predictions 2021. It's already been a fairly unusual year thus far. A lot of controversy and chaos. Would you like to make some bold predictions for this year?
All right, sure. Well, for one, as I mentioned earlier, I think cryptocurrency it's taken over the world. So that's going to be Bitcoin's going to hit the moon by the end of the year.
You think it's going to hit the moon? Now, what does that mean? You mean literally, or it's going to skyrocket?
Skyrocket, James.
Okay, now what does that mean for someone like you who's got, from what I understand, at least $1,000 invested in Bitcoin?
Well, it means I'm going to be taking the wife out for a nice steak dinner
Eh,
December.
Okay, so within the next 12 months, where are you going to be taking her? The Keg,
Well,
Moishes?
well, I think Moishes is closed down, James. But
From what I understand, they're looking to move to the aptly named street Beaver Hall.
oh, really?
I'm gonna tell you something. You take your wife out to Moishes on Beaver Hall. You're gonna be ending the night with a bit of beaver.
Yeah.
Great. So
Sick.
I'd like to add that as a bold prediction for you that at some point in 2021, you have sex.
Oh man, what a day that will be.
Yeah. Any
Well,
other predictions, Dave?
I predict that there'll be an even bigger fracturing of the online media scape now with all the things that are happening in the world. There's going to be less and less communication amongst people with divided points of view. So that's just going to worsen, I think.
Okay, and how do you see that unfolding?
Well, just a lot of yelling, a lot of Twitter threads that are angry at people. What else? Hopefully, it doesn't spill too much into the real world. But then again, we can't go outside right now, so.
Okay, so if I were to ask you this question, do you have any bold predictions on when you think we might be able to go outside past 8 o'clock p.m.?
I'm gonna say 6 months from now.
Six. So you think that this curfew will not only be extended past the 4 week mark, you think it will be extended to a 6 month mark?
I think it's gonna.
You
be,
and I will be out potentially outside after 8 o'clock in the month of June.
That's correct.
Great. What are we doing on that night? Any bold predictions?
I think that we're gonna go. We're gonna go to that boat bar.
Now, see, this is a very bold prediction. For people who don't know, David and myself live right off of the Lachine Canal, where
right.
right beside the walking bridge, there is a small, quaint, dare I say, romantic bar that we call the Boat Bar.
Yeah, it's a boat. It's a real.
It is a
honest to
boat
goodness
in the
boat.
water. Now, you foresee that you and I, in the month of June, celebrate being able to go outside after the curfew finally breaks at the 6 month mark. We spend a lovely evening at the Boat Bar.
Yeah, you have a Coke and I have a beer, and we both have cigarillos.
Oh, so see, I was going to say, you having a beer and me having a Coke is not particularly bold. The idea that you and I, specifically me, will be smoking cigarillos inside of a boat, that's the type of boldness that I want tonight. Now, Dave, where does the night take us? You and I, we finally break curfew. We're smoking cigarillos, drinking soda, drinking beer on the Boat Bar. Where does that take us afterwards?
Well, firstly, when we finish our vanilla flavored cigarillos,
Oh, they're vanilla. Oh, very bold. It's very bold.
we decide to go for a walk, and we set off some fireworks, James,
Okay, so we're setting fireworks off. Okay.
to celebrate, and then we stay up until the sun rises. The sun rises, and we watch the sunrise, and then I go home back to my wife and kid. We do it all again the next day.
Okay, so your bold prediction is that you're able to escape the love grip of your family in order to have a very bizarre night on the town with me. And
Yeah.
then we're out. What are we doing to spend? So we're lighting off fireworks. How do we kill all that time in the night?
Oh, just general mischief and mayhem, James. Things that people do at night. There's a reason
right.
there's a curfew right now. It's because of all the mischief and mayhem that people would get up to. should
So
they
are
be
you to
allowed
say
go
that
outside.
if there was no curfew, you and I would be causing some of this mischief and mayhem?
I think so.
Well, what I do want to do right now is say hello to everyone in the chat. We've got ourselves a raid, which I suspect is by way of Carla Ma. Thanks for joining us. You are
Hey,
on
everybody.
twitch.tv/@home with James. I'm James. This is David. We are talking bold predictions 2021. And if you didn't know, I'm also in the process of making my final selections in the 2021 Fantasy Hockey League draft. I've made a variety of picks up to this point. I do believe no one has truly been tipped off to the fact that I'm also multitasking tonight. I'm going to try my best to stay as engaged, not only with my guests, but in the chat room as possible.
Oof,
to the
well,
person saying, I just drafted Jake Muzzin, that's correct. He's on a good team. Okay, David, so do you think we would be causing mischief and mayhem
I do. I just
if
want
it
to
weren't
update
for this
my.
curfew?
I just traded some cryptocurrency right now, and I'm starting to lose a little bit of cash, giving some of it back.
Well, it seems like you're having a great night and I'm having a great night. And what we're getting right here is coming in from the chat, courtesy of Drake Brielle. Have you decided to start wearing condoms, James?
A bold prediction, James.
Yeah, that's a bold question.
Yeah, my prediction for 2020 is
You're
you don't.
You're adding that to the prediction list that I start wearing condoms.
No, that you don't.
That I don't start wearing condoms. Okay, your bold prediction is that I maintain a life of condom-free living.
That's correct.
All right. Fantastic. That sounds like a great way to spend 2021. Now, we've been talking, Dave, about outward predictions. We've talked a little bit about predictions as it relates to us. What's something that you think you could predict right now that no one could replicate in terms of a prediction?
It's an interesting question.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll give some show predictions.
Oh, please. That's a great idea. Some predictions in terms of the show.
Yeah, I predict that you have a leave of absence from the show.
Okay.
And a different host takes over.
Okay, so let's deconstruct this. Why do you think this leave of absence happens?
Well, you've been doing the show a long time, James, and I figure everybody needs a break once in a while. It's 3 times a week. People burn out. And
okay, so I take a break is what you're saying. Now is this a 1 week break?
I'm going to say that you take a 2-month break.
Okay, so this implies that I've got something going on.
Yeah, because of burnout.
I get burnt out from the show.
Yeah.
Now, do I dare ask who replaces me as host?
Well, it's got to be a James because it's called At Home with James. So
you know what I have to say? I thought absolutely you would say it's you. No. I'm impressed that you have exercised a bit of humility here.
I don't want to do your job, James. It seems tough, but I will say that I will still be working on the show and I won't be burnt out.
Okay.
That said, maybe like a James Spader.
Okay, so I take a 2-month leave of absence, and then I'm replaced by Hollywood actor James Spader as host of At Home with James.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Now, do any segments change, or is it just kind of all the same?
Well, it's mostly the same, but we get a lot of Hollywood guests because they're friends with James Spader. So, like, I don't know, people he's close with and stuff like that, and sort of raises the profile of the show for a bit.
Okay, so James Spader takes over as host on the show when I'm on my 2-month leave of absence. What Hollywood actors do you think is this the Hollywood elite, would you say?
I would say James Spader's a solid B-list Hollywood actor. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
No, it makes sense. So what B-list actors do you think he could bring into the fold as guests on the show?
Let me see. Well, he's on the show The Blacklist. And let me just find out here. And Megan Boone is also on The Blacklist, so we might get actress Megan Boone.
Okay, I have no idea who that is or what that show is.
Okay, well, James Spader he was on Boston Legal. And that had William Shatner. So I think one of the big gets for the At Home with James show would be William Shatner and Candice Bergen, who
Now, I
famously
want to jump in
played
here. I want to
Murphy
engage
Brown.
with the chat for a moment. Coming in from High Score Run, would James Spader have to host from his house or from James? Now, I don't know what that means, but right beneath, Sid Rock, who's on the show, says, the joke is on you to think that James will notice the chat. I can't wait to rub this in his face when he's on in segment 3.
I think James was not James. Your James. High Score Run was implying that would James Spader host the show from your house, and the answer would be yes.
That's your bold prediction, James.
Yeah.
I want to make a bold prediction. I never make any predictions here. My prediction is that I propose that Sid Rock grow a beard. That's my bold prediction. Is that I ask him to grow a beard.
Your prediction is that you ask him to?
Yes, I predict that at some point over the next 12 months, I ask Sid to grow a beard.
That's pretty bold, James.
Pretty bold, right? Pretty bold.
Yeah.
Now, Dave, we've got Sid and Sehar on this show tonight. Would you like to make a bold prediction about Sid?
Huh. Let me see. Well, Sid recently started streaming, so I predict that his stream blows up. I think that in a positive way, not in a sort of
Okay. So yeah, of course Sid has started to stream. We're going to talk about that when he joins us later on. How about a bold prediction for Sehar?
Sehar. I think Sehar finds love this year.
You think Sehar finds love this year?
Yeah.
Now, where does she find it?
At a meet cute at a coffee shop.
Okay, so Sehar falls in love in a very rom-com style way in a coffee shop.
Yeah, she meets someone who originally they hate each other. They're very upset at each other. Sehar comes on the show, complains about this person, and then that person watches the show and calls in to the At Home with James show. And,
Wait, so at some point there's going to be a call-in segment on the show?
Yeah.
It sounds like things get really good once James Spader takes over.
Oh, he takes the show. He brings it pretty far.
All right, so there we go. This is very exciting.
Oh, it's super exciting.
This is very exciting to hear that the show gets incredibly good once I leave on my leave. What am I doing on my leave of absence?
Sailing.
Oh, I start sailing?
Yeah. Like around the world.
Yeah, I start sailing around. So it sounds like life gets pretty good for me as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
are you have a problem with that, James? Are you not willing to?
Yeah, I don't really. I don't look at myself as the sailing type.
Well, not yet, but 2021's just started.
Yeah, that's true. Certainly, things can change along the way.
Yeah, and you should allow yourself to accept a relaxing lifestyle.
You know what? Maybe this is the year that I do that.
Oh.
Maybe I'll become a sailor while the show.
It is.
Okay, so that is what happens. Well, on that note, Dave, it's now time for us to welcome our next guest. You've made a very, very exciting and, dare I say, bold prediction about her. She's a comedian. She's an improviser. She's an actor. She is the Fizz girl. Now, if you've been to a movie theater or you've been watching TV, you know this person, you know this face. Let's welcome the one and only Sehar Manji to the show. Sehar, how's it going?
It's good. It's nice. I kind of want that prediction to happen.
Okay, so you're in favor of Dave's bold prediction.
Yeah, the only thing is it depends on how pandemic goes.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really, because I don't work in cafes anymore, I don't really have coffee outside, and I've cut down on coffee. Not caffeine,
Okay.
like I'm drinking Coke, but I don't usually crave it in the morning. So it's like, I don't know if maybe it's the one time I go to Olympico or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a nice, and I obviously I would complain on this show. I don't know who James Spader is, so I looked him up.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very forgettable man, and I've never seen anything with him. I kind of know the face, but he's kind of blah.
Well, I really hope that no one has tweeted out to James Spader, hey, this low-level Twitch show that specializes in comedy and conversation based out of Montreal. They're talking about you right now. And he's like, well, let me turn on Twitch. I guess that's my James Spader.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I feel like that's what he sounds like. I don't know.
Just in time for him to turn it on, and then he hears this. He's like, "What's this?" And then he hears someone go, "I feel like James Spader is very forgettable."
Okay, so I don't know what he plays, but it looks like he's some guy who, you know, if you're at like in a crime show and they're at the precinct and they've asked everybody for all the evidence and all that, and he's this one guy in the background who's like midway being like, "Well, I had the answers," and he's bitter, and then you go to him and you tell him, "Fine, we'll have lunch with you. Can you please tell us what you found in the forensic evidence?" He's that guy who's just like,
okay, Dave, what do you think about that? That's a lot of shade at the Spade.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I would call James Spader completely forgettable, because he was in such classic shows as The Blacklist. But yeah, I could see him being sort of a forensic nerd that is sort of repressed by his bosses, and they don't take him seriously, but he has all the answers. I could see that.
I'm going to tell you something. When I booked this show today, and I thought about all the potential ways that this show could go, James Spader being such a focal point of conversation clearly did not enter my mind at all. And I officially want to pivot away from that. Sehar, when I asked you to make your bold predictions, you were like, "Why are you giving me homework? I can't do it." And I thought, yes, you can. And then I wrote, "Sehar, yes, you can. I've been trying to book you for a week now." And you say, "No, I can't. I don't want to. I got me time to do." I locked you in. You're loaded. You're ready to shoot the cannon. Dave and me want to know some of your bold predictions. The floor is yours.
Well, one is sort of a segue of what you just said, and you joked about it before, but I'm like, maybe that's a thing. Maybe the bold prediction is that I will have the biggest hangout with the most people sometime this year that I will initiate and invite people to, which is in the other side of where the pendulum is swinging, because I'm on the extreme end of I just want to be by myself right now and me time. And so that's a bold prediction that could happen by the end of the year. Okay. And then another one that I was thinking about this, even though I don't know if I will do it. I feel like at some point, at least starting this year, closets will be obsolete. Or their uses.
I don't know if that's bold as much as it is unusual.
Well, this is why, because most of us are not spending as much. I mean, I don't know. I speak for myself and a few people I know. We hang out in the same clothes every day. And then either this will continue because people will just be like, "Hey, we can do everything from home," or people will realize that no one actually cares if you wear the same t-shirt 7 days in a row, and you will need a very tiny dresser or a small nightstand for your underwear, and everyone's gonna have those like hipster metal clothing racks for like the 4 outfits you need, and we will be those people, and suitcases will also be obsolete. So that's one prediction where minimalism.
I've got some questions about this one. So how many t-shirts would you have?
I have 6 that I rotate right now.
So you'd have
and I just want to say that's not a lot of t-shirts.
Oh no, I have like 25, but I only really just wear 6.
Yeah,
okay, understood, Dave.
I'm the same as well. And so you'd have 6 t-shirts, 6 pairs of underwear, like 6 undergarment layers. How many pairs of nicer pants?
2.
2?
Basically, your vacation size carry-on stroller road thingy will be what you actually need.
That's interesting. I like that actually, because it simplifies your life.
Yeah.
James?
And like if no one can smell you, you don't have to do laundry all the time. So
if no one can smell you, you don't have to do laundry all the time.
That's an ancient Chinese proverb.
Yeah, that is. That's an ACP, as we call them on the show.
Yeah, ACPC.
Yeah. I hated that I almost laughed at that. It was very, very discouraging.
Pretty sure you did.
Yeah, I did, and I'm really not happy with myself. Okay, so Sehar, I want to circle back to something that Dave predicted for you. You fall in love at a coffee shop. Is that bold? Do you think that's bold?
I think it's bold, but I think it's in line of how I mean, the way it happened was exactly how it would. Even the fact though that I would hate the person at first, and then come on this show, whether you're the host of James's show, At Home with James, I'd come on this show
Yep.
to rant about it. Also, because this is the only biggest amount of talking I ever do, if I ever do it in a week. Oh no, I teach. Never mind. But this is where I would rant. And it would be, I'd be like, James, this happened to me, and you'd be like, hold it, save it for the show. Then you'd book me, and this is where it happened.
Mm-hmm.
And because your show is getting so popular, this person would likely just find it
12
on
viewers.
Twitch, stream it.
Yeah.
And I think it's I think it's a very possible show.
Okay. It's very possible that this happens. Okay, so how would you like to, if you could, Sehar, make a bold prediction on what you think this gentleman looks like? Remember, bold. I want bold here.
Like, you mean like he has like blue hair?
You tell me. This is your segment.
I think this person wears very loud. I'm thinking like somebody I would not immediately look at. I'm like, someone has very loud clothes.
Okay.
Like loud, big, bold. Everything is thrifted, but sort of works together, kind of like K-pop, but here.
I'm seeing leather motorcycle boots.
Yeah, and then always wear sunglasses even indoors. Earrings, all earrings here. Fanny pack.
Sehar, can I say something?
Yeah.
This guy sounds hot AF. This guy is exactly what you need in your life. He needs.
I was gonna say, like, I was like the anti what I want right now is, this is why I'd get mad. I'd probably come on the show and be like, this guy who looks like a hot air balloon is just like ruined my coffee experience.
You need someone to take you on a walk on the wild side.
Hold on.
Well, this is the other thing. So this is what he wears when he's in this
balloon?
Yeah, just imagine like really baggy pants, but
so he's just coming back from a Limp Bizkit concert.
Yeah, with chains and frosted tips. But when he's at home, when I get to know him, because like, I don't know, maybe I'll just be like, oh, I hate you, damn it, and then they're gonna be like, curfew 5 p.m. and I'm like, great, I can't leave, and I'm gonna be at home. When he only wears those things when he's outside, but inside he just wears like linen pants, and he takes down his hair, and it's like Jason Momoa linen pants, no shoes. He's got like a very
Wait, so hold on. He's like a fan of new metal, but then when he takes his hair down, he just transforms into a Jason Momoa style guy.
He's got his outside clothes. That's always his personality. It's his jacket. It's his outside clothes. But in the house, he's very minimalist. So
okay,
it's your environment. Environment colors who you are.
Okay.
So when he's a DJ out in the world, right?
Well,
so he needs to be. Yeah.
I've got a scenario. So what if, say, you drop something at the coffee shop? Who knows what it is? And this Jason Momoa.
Well, hold on. I'd like for you to predict what she drops.
Okay, she drops a coffee.
I'd like to put mine in here, and maybe Sehar can decide which of the two she drops.
So it's a loyalty card with 9 out of 10 stamps.
And mine is, you accidentally drop a huge fart.
Well, that doesn't fit into my scenario.
It's a choose your own adventure.
I mean, the more likely one is the card, but I want to see where the fart goes.
So, Dave, as you were.
Okay, this is really throwing what I was going to say, but so
maybe you know what? How about this?
No,
how about
fine.
this? She drops the loyalty card, and when she crouches down, she farts, and she freezes.
Yeah. So what happens is this guy picks up the card, and is like, oh, like kind of disturbed, and is good. Sehar leaves in embarrassment. She rushes out of the door, right? Because she's like, I farted in public and everybody heard me. So Sehar runs home and he runs after her, but the sun's setting and it's almost
He
8.
chases her home.
Well, he's following her.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Even better. He's following her
But
home.
Sehar, she lives near the cafe. It's not.
Yeah, but then I run faster because he's following me home. I'll run faster.
Oh, yeah. So you're
Yeah.
in terror that you're being stalked.
Yeah, that's
Right.
what
And
you
I'd like
do.
to say
Yeah.
that along the way, with every few steps that you're running, more farts are coming out.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So
I just want to say I've really co-opted this bold prediction.
So Sehar gets to her place, and the door's just about to close behind her, and then his hand goes through the door, and he opens the door, and Sehar's scared at first, and then he's like, don't be scared. I brought you your loyalty card. And she's like, thank you. But then it's almost curfew time, and he can't go home because he can't be outside past curfew. So Sehar lets him stay the night.
Yeah, this is very bold.
A stranger?
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't forget he's really hot.
Yeah, he's like
But
Jason
I also just farted on him the whole way home.
Here's the thing, though. Remember, Dave, he's not Jason Momoa yet. Right now, he's still a nu metal fan.
Oh, I have an addition to this. So then he comes in and he's like, okay, but like my clothes smell of fart. I can't stay in them. And I only have a washer. I don't have a dryer.
Wait, hold on. His clothes smell of farts, but yours don't?
No, because he was if I'm running.
Yeah, I
and
understand your premise is that he's chasing you, running into your fart back blow, but
it's leaving me, so I don't have it anymore.
Yeah, he's running right into Sehar's fecal blow through.
yeah, I guess this is science.
Yeah.
And he's like, or maybe he's like, oh, I wash my clothes every day. So anyways, I'm like, I have a washer, but I don't have a dryer, so you're gonna have to wear my linen pants.
So he's wearing your pants.
Yeah, I think I have a pair that maybe is too big that I bought during quarantine, and it's just a hassle to return it back and forth.
But they're pretty snug on him, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they fit, but they are snug.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't have a t-shirt for you because all my t-shirts are small, medium, and you're like clearly a.
But he puts one on, but it's just like he's just
Too
like
tight.
bulging
Yeah.
out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Powerful chest.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he's in my way a
Chiseled
lot.
thighs.
And then
He's in your way. What are you doing?
my apartment's small, but then also the reason why he's in my way is because I have all this stuff everywhere, and he's like, why don't you put up some shelves? And I'm like, I don't know how to. And then he's like, hey, we can turn this chair into a shelf. And then I'm like, whatever. I take a bath.
Wait. He proposes that you turn a chair into a how big is this chair?
It's like it's a
I want to imagine that he just picks up a chair,
breaks
gets
it.
the hammer and nails, and just hammers the back of it to a wall, so the seat is now a shelf.
Yeah. And it's something I've not been able to do, and I just get annoyed with that. So when I go take my shower, I come out, and he's organized my apartment with shelves and this floor space, and I'm like, oh, would you like a Coke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you think the night ends, Sehar? Are you two making love?
Yeah, but not yet. So
Taking it slow.
I'm nice, so I offer him the bed because I'm small enough to fit on my couch.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no, I'll just sleep on the couch. And because he's so big, his legs hang off the side. And at some point,
Can I jump in here? I'd like to make a bold prediction of my own. I think that you're in your bed and he's in the living room and he can hear you start farting again in your bedroom, and it brings back memories of how you met.
I'm gonna make a bold prediction too.
Yeah.
When he falls asleep, he has sad dreams and he starts to cry in his sleep. What's
the dream?
What's his dream?
Yeah, what's his dream?
It's sort of a.
I'd like to make a bold prediction about what his dream is.
Okay, please.
I think that he's dreaming. It's about how I'm no longer the host of this show, and it's that James Spader has taken over.
And that he's crying?
That's causing his sadness.
So he's already watched the show.
Well, it's in the future, isn't it?
Right, but so he knows who Sehar is already?
He's never seen an episode with her on it. He doesn't know. He only periodically watches.
Sure. He's a casual viewer.
Yeah, the only guests that he really knows are like Joe, Dimitri, and then let's say Lisa Palmieri.
Sure. And maybe Sehar has an improv picture on her wall somewhere that he recognizes, and he's like, "Oh my God, Joe!"
Yeah, it's
Conto?
a picture. It's a picture of Sehar and Joe, and he can tell that Sehar hasn't been able to get a lot of dialogue out in the scene. Anyways, Sehar, you're in your bedroom farting, and he's cry dreaming.
And so then I wake up and I take my blanket to him, and I cover him, then I watch him sleep. And
Were you
he's
covered
like,
like he's dead or what?
No, like I cover him with the duvet.
Over his face.
Yeah.
She closes
No.
his eyes.
Yeah, I'm gonna make bold predictions. Sehar gets out of bed and thinks he's dead on the couch. She thinks that he's passed away.
Oh my God.
So
No.
she calls her best friend and says, "We gotta hide this body."
Yeah, and then on the other line, it's Joe, and he's like, "I'll be there in a minute."
He drives all the way from Lake Placid.
Drives all the way from Lake Placid. He gets her, and as you're trying to explain, he's just telling you what happened. This might not be bold anymore.
Yeah, I was like, where'd the love of my life go? Where did
Okay,
that
hold on.
happen?
Let's circle back. Let's circle back. Let's veto everything that Dave and I just said. You bring a blanket out for him.
Yeah, and then I cover him, and then I go back to my bed, and he's like, "Oh no, you won't have a blanket." And then he shows up, and then we're like, "Okay, well, I don't have a blanket, and you need a blanket, so let's just sleep in the same bed."
Hold on. So this is how the dialogue goes. You bring him a blanket, you walk away, he goes, "Oh no, you don't have a blanket." Then you say, "Yeah, but no, you need the blanket, I don't need the blanket." And he goes, "Yeah, but then you won't have a blanket."
Yeah.
Very cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is truly the stuff of rom-coms.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing: is right now I'm watching reruns of Full House, so that's the level at which my writer brain is at. It's very, very explicit and just back and forth.
So you want a
19th
family-friendly...
Yeah.
You're looking for your own Jesse Katsopoulos.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm not kidding. I used to watch this growing up. I am having so many feelings about John Stamos. I cannot believe he was this good looking and I missed it. I cannot get enough of that.
You can enjoy it now.
Yeah.
All right, so how does
Yeah.
this night end? Dave, how do you think this night ends for
Well,
Sehar?
the camera. So we're in bed together,
There's
and then
a
he says
camera?
something.
Yeah, there's a camera.
Isn't this a movie?
This is your life, Sehar.
This is your life, bro.
I was gonna make the camera pans up and into darkness, but never mind. Okay.
So it sounds like it just ends in darkness.
Oh, it's implied they make love.
Oh, it's implied that they make love. Okay, and this is when he's in Jason Momoa mode and not Fred Durst mode.
Yeah.
All right, Dave, any last thoughts for Sehar before we move on to our next segment?
No, I just think that's such a beautiful story. I hope it comes to fruition.
Well,
Yeah.
as long as there's a curfew, then I can invite him in. If there's no curfew, then he has to go home.
Well, I think the first thing that you have to do in order to turn this fantasy into a reality is if you have a fart on tap in a coffee shop, let it rip.
Let it loose.
Let it loose.
Yeah.
That goes for everybody listening. Right
Yeah,
now.
if you're in the chat right now and if you have to blow ass in a coffee shop, just do it.
I
You
feel
might
like
find
I
your own
would.
Fred Durst.
I feel like I've forgotten my manners, and because I live alone, I just kind of do what I want, and I feel like I might forget what to do when people are around, or what not to do. So I think it
Hey.
would just, yeah,
You know what that is? That's a bold prediction.
yeah. I think it's windbreaking.
Write it down. Okay, Sehar, look, thanks so much for joining Dave and myself tonight, and we'll get you back soon. I'll start booking you next week, so in 2 weeks from next week, you'll be on the show.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right,
Amar.
thanks, Sehar.
Bye.
Dave, what does it feel like to be co-hosting tonight?
It's pretty good. I'm enjoying it. I'm glad that I've got a real pro doing it with me.
Well, hey, you're not so bad yourself, and dare I say that this is the best one-on-one work that we've done while you're out of character.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. James,
It's
I
not
wanted
bad.
to check in and see how your hockey pool's going.
You know what? This is how good I am at multitasking. I finished it about 10 minutes ago.
Oh, my God.
I don't know how things are going to unfold. I'm going to look at everything after the show is done. I might make some adjustments as of tonight. But one thing that doesn't need to be adjusted is the lineup that is on tap for this Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the show. The one and only Connor Rose, and making his debut in the tech booth, it's Andy Asaf. Now, Dave, you're teching this show right now. You've been through the ringer. How do you think this kid's going to do on Wednesday night?
Well, your first
Bold prediction.
Your first big game is always a daunting affair. A lot of nerves at play. But I think this kid's got promise. I think he'll take it to the finish line. Maybe a couple of flubs here and there, but
a couple of flubs.
Overall, smooth performance by Andy.
Yeah. And can I tell you, when he was going through his training session, you know who else went to the training session?
The farm leagues.
Yeah, when he went down to the farm leagues to learn all the plays, you know who else was there learning the same plays?
Who's that, James?
This guy right here.
Oh my God.
James. I'm the in case, like in hockey when they have a neutral goalie in case all 4 goalies go down with an injury, the emergency backup. I'm the emergency tech director in case of some unforeseen incident.
Well, I'm sure that you're capable. I don't want to don't sully yourself just because the big boys play the games most nights.
Well, who knows? Maybe the big boys might not be available, and then the little boy needs to come in.
Exactly.
Take control of the keys.
Exactly. And if James Spader ever needs a tech, I'm sure he's going to come to you first.
What a world that would be. We're going to continue with tonight's show. Our next guest has just launched a brand new stream of his own. It takes place on Tuesdays. He's going to tell us all about it. Let's welcome a man who has had a variety of titles on this show. He was voted by me, and I was the only voter, best audience member in the history of the show. He's also our chief political correspondent. He is Sid Rock. Sid, how's it going, man?
Hey, James. I'm doing great. Hope everyone's well. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. The pleasure is always mine. Dave, I noticed you didn't say hello to Sid.
Hey, Sid, what's going on? Pleasure to have you on the show. Appreciate you being here. Got anything to plug?
Oh.
I was expecting to go right into it.
I hated how much he did that. It gave me the shivers, but you know what? We're co-hosting tonight. So, Sid, as mentioned off the top when we were bringing you in, you've got yourself a new stream. Tell us about it.
Well, there isn't that much to say. It's something that I've been pondering for a while, and I pulled the trigger. Last week. Mm-hmm. I would have done it last Tuesday, but there were some technical snafus, so I'll be doing it Tuesdays at 10 p.m. I'd like to do it more often, but once a week is like what I know I can consistently handle. Yes, Boss Fracture and High Score Run. I will read the chat.
Now, you say that now. You say that now until you're on the show and you're rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling, and then 30 minutes have passed and you look and you say, oh, man, everyone's just ripping me apart.
I've been co-hosting for 47 minutes, and it's tough to read the chat.
I want to. So, Sid, let's get right into something here. Last night, you sent Dave and myself a group message about how the tardiness of this show's start time was brought up on another show.
Yeah, I
laugh it up. Laugh it up.
Oh, yeah, I will laugh it up. When Boss Fracture, who's in the chat right now, when the Sunday night improv audio show, which I checked from this computer right here, it started 10 minutes late, roughly 5 to 10 minutes late.
Yep.
And then Boss Fracture commented in the chat, which I noticed, and they said, this show started so late, I thought it was the James McGee show. To which I said, yeah, but unlike the James McGee show, we actually read the chat here. We actually interact with the chat.
Yeah,
And
I'm getting
that-
blasted on a variety of shows now.
And I'll say this when earlier when I said the joke's on you for thinking that James will notice the chat.
Mhm.
That joke was in response to some people who were spamming you that you should make your hockey pick. So by not realizing what the joke was about,
I
you essentially
understand.
proved the point I was making.
You know what? You did. You
Ah.
did. And you know what? I love you for it. You know what? You know what? I'm going to give you another title, Sid. You ready for your third title on this
Oh
show?
boy,
You're the man that keeps me honest.
there we go.
I can't avoid the truth that you spew out ever so lovingly.
And I'm going to
Dave,
give
what do
you a
you-
title too.
What?
You're my best friend.
Okay, so Sid is now, in addition to being the best viewer ever, he's chief political correspondent. He keeps me honest, and he's Dave's best friend, which means the next time Sid comes on, the vamping to introduce him is going to be real long.
There we go. So
Well,
many titles.
There's so many titles, and there's so little time. But what we do have time for, Sid, is to hear about some of your bold predictions 2021. Tonight has been filled with love and flatulence.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a show
it's-
on TLC.
It kind of makes me question the predictions, but I'll do it. When you told me to make bold predictions for this year, I tried to like think of things that I actually think might happen and to just push it a little. So my first prediction, my first prediction is the insurrection that happened last week will be used as a pretext to bring in Patriot Act 2.0, which will come into effect within days of Joe Biden's presidency.
Okay, so for people that don't remember now, and this might be me, Patriot Act, the original, that was post 9/11.
Mhm.
Okay, now what do you think will be a part of Patriot Act 2.0?
It's strange. I should have seen that question coming, but off the top of my head, I will say that the definition of domestic terrorist will be expanded to the point where I have no idea what life on social media is going to be like.
I'll tell you what, it's not going to be easy for you.
No, it won't.
Yeah. Your Twitter account is going to be monitored 24/7.
The funny thing is, I like to think that I'm pretty good at flying under the radar. Like I'm not some hardcore right wing or anything, but I know that depending on where the Overton window is, I might be considered. I don't know. Should I explain what the Overton window is real quick?
Feel free.
I mean,
Okay.
I know what it is.
Yeah, so the Overton window is this concept of what it's a window of discourse that's considered acceptable, and outside that window, if you're a little outside of that window, speech that's outside the Overton window is a little extreme, and speech that's way outside the Overton window is like radical.
Understood.
So the depending so I'm not that far outside of the Overton window, but if Patriot Act 2.0 shrinks it, then I might be a radical.
Okay, so Dave, what do you think? Do you have any bold predictions on what happens to Sid if Patriot Act 2.0 comes to fruition?
I think Sid's going to be kicked off of Twitter. That's for sure. I think he's going to have. You can't go to Parler anymore, Sid. So you might end up going to Gab or some sort of alternate social media network like that.
I'm gonna go even bolder. Sid launches his own online platform.
I think so. Yeah, I think that I could get behind that.
And maybe it's called like the Rock Show.
The Rock Show is
Yeah,
the
the
name
Rock-
of my
yeah.
network. That's awesome.
Yeah. Or like, I'm trying to come up with something with the name. You got anything on that, Dave?
Rock and roll, something with that. Rock of Ages.
No, that's his autobiography.
I'll think about it. That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah. Okay, so Sid, you're launching your own social media platform. How does yours differ from everyone else's?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yes, Sid. How do you balance moderating hate speech with sticking up for freedom of speech, which is something that other social media platforms have had difficulty doing in the past?
Yeah, well, I'll say I'll almost always err on the side of freedom. I think as long as there's not clear and present danger, that it should be okay, which is not something that would cater to a. Basically, that's my views on the balance between free speech and hate speech and that shit. It would be prime real estate for Nazis to just take over.
Yeah. So you're
And
saying
that's-
that you're saying you don't really want them on at the rock show.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the challenge of alternative social media networks is in order to grow, they basically have to become like Twitter, because like if black people and women and trans people or whatever don't feel welcome on your network, then it's just left over to Nazis.
Yeah.
I actually have a Gab account. I've had a Gab account for a while. I never use it because Gab's pretty bad.
Is it? I've never used it.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of this.
Yeah. I forget when, but yeah, I opened my Gab account really early.
Interesting.
Yeah, I might have like 20 tweets on it. Total,
Is it a
yeah.
Twitter? Is it a Twitter like clone basically, or is it
Kinda, yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Now, Sid, I know you've got a list of predictions. What other bold predictions would you like to make?
Oh, sure. So this one is kind of easy, so I gave it a shorter time constraint. This is again American shit. Kamala Harris will get sworn in as president before the summer. Joe Biden's mental faculties will diminish to the point where the 25th Amendment is invoked, and Kamala is in before the summer.
Okay, so in addition, so by the midpoint of the year, not only do I get replaced by James Spader, but Joe Biden gets replaced by Kamala Harris.
That is exactly it.
It happens
Okay.
on
And
the
if you
same
thought-
day, James.
It happens. Okay, this is getting very bold. It happens on the same day.
If you
The only difference is apparently in this prediction, I go on vacation and Joe Biden goes crazy.
there we go.
Okay.
Joe Biden goes to the back in his basement or whatever.
Can I just say that was a hilarious line to imply that Joe Biden just hangs out in his basement.
Yeah,
Yes.
but you got to see this guy's basement. It's awesome.
Oh yeah, what's it like?
He's got a foosball table. He's got a bar. He invites his buds over. A flat.
Okay, so
flat
basically he's
screen
got
TV.
the reason he doesn't leave his basement is because he's got a rumpus room.
got a-
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's fucking hardcore. He's got the
A case
well,
of
I was
vanilla
about to say
cigarillos.
the Xbox and the Xbox One and the PS5, but
Oh, so he's got all the new video
got the new
game
system.
platforms. He's got a couple NASCAR posters and a flashing Coors Light sign.
Hey, Mom,
Yeah,
can I go to Joe Biden's basement?
Yeah. Joe Biden, he vacates his role of president, and all the neighborhood kids hang out with him.
Sick.
And the only thing you got to do to get in is he gets to take a whiff of you.
Yeah, exactly. You got to pay the tax.
yeah, oh my god. I just processed that. I was gonna make a joke about how the only game he has on all those consoles is shushing kids off his lawn.
Okay.
But no, I totally forgot about the
Well, coming in from the chat right now, and you'll love this, Sid, because I'm reading it. Joe Biden
Yes.
should invite Connor Rose to hang out in the rumpus room. Joe
Yeah.
Biden could give Connor some tips on how to pick up.
There we go. That yeah, you gotta. Oh my God, I can't. I just imagine Connor after having been coached by Joe Biden just sneaking up behind people and sniffing them. That's not gonna end well.
No, it doesn't end well for Connor. Just without this show, we could have never created a world where Connor Rose is hanging out with President-elect Joe Biden. All right, so that's your bold prediction, is that Kamala Harris is sworn in by the summertime. You have another bold prediction. What is it?
Oh, well, this is the last one, and kind of the scariest one.
Okay.
The coronavirus will mutate again, leading to COVID-21, which might extend lockdown indefinitely for some of us.
Now, COVID-21.
Mm-hmm.
So you think it will get so mutated that it'll get to a point where we just do this in a loop? All right.
It's like,
so this is
Terminator 2. You know, the first
Yeah.
one was dangerous, but then the second one was even more dangerous.
Yeah.
So you're saying that the next COVID will be like the T-1000 of COVID.
That's right. Yeah.
So if someone sees COVID on the street and they try to shoot it with a shotgun, creates a hole, and then it just coagulates.
It'll just.
All right.
Yep.
Well, now does that mean that COVID-19 is the T-800? So you need to get COVID-19 to destroy COVID-21?
Oh yeah, COVID-19 is going to save us all in the next year.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
so you're saying that?
This time, COVID-19 will be programmed to protect us.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. It'll be programmed to protect us. COVID-19 takes what we call in the wrestling world a full baby face turn. Okay, so COVID-19 travels back through time to destroy, or at least attempt to destroy. Now the question is, who's the John Connor in this situation?
Oh shit! Oh my God!
James
it would
Spader.
Yes, I was gonna boldly predict it was gonna be Connor Rose.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, so this is all making a lot of sense. So the prediction is that we get COVID-21, and you need COVID-19 to destroy COVID-21.
The battlefield will be all our bodies.
And Connor Rose kind of becomes like sees COVID-19 as a father figure.
Oh
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, as a father figure, and then
Connor will bond with the virus and create some antibody that will become the new vaccine.
Yeah.
Well, just like in T2 Judgment Day, how John Connor is responsible for telling the T-800 you can't just go around killing people. That's what Connor Rose does to COVID-19. Connor's
if anyone could do it, it's Connor.
It's Connor. Yeah, Connor's like, I think you just can't go around killing people. And COVID-19 just doesn't get it.
Yeah.
It's like, why? And Connor's like, because you can't just go around killing people. And that's how I think it. Now the question is, does COVID-19 end up destroying COVID-21?
I think so. But this isn't my prediction, so I'm gonna have to defer to our guest.
Sure, yeah, Sid, what do you think? With the help of Connor Rose, does COVID-19?
You know what? Before we mentioned the possibility of Connor Rose playing a role in this,
Yeah.
I was going to say no,
Mm-hmm.
but I think again Connor will make COVID-19 understand why humans cry,
Yeah.
and that will be the key to defeating COVID-21.
Yeah. And then COVID's like, I now know why you cry, but this is something I could never do. And then he gives him a thumbs up.
It's beautiful.
Yep.
Now, I'm sorry if anyone in the chat hasn't enjoyed Terminator 2 Judgment Day. You should watch this movie.
It's a great film.
It's the only movie I tell people they should watch.
What about
Well,
Home
it
Alone?
sounds like these are some very bold predictions. Now, there was a bold prediction made earlier in the night that is about to come true. Sid, I would like for you to grow a beard.
Wow, I never saw that coming. This is very sudden. I'm not sure what to say.
Take your time. Take your time. Dave, while you think about it, Dave, what do you think? Sid with a beard.
Let me visualize it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I think you would keep your head bald, but just like a big sort of bushy Canadian beard. Maybe wear some plaid shirts a bit more. Look like a real hipster.
You know, this lockdown might be the opportunity for me to try it.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna make another bold prediction. Sid grows the beard,
Ooh.
and there's a world beard premiere on this show.
I know your chat wants me to do it, or at least both of the people who commented. But
Yeah, we've got a chant of do it, and then followed by do it, followed by you would be the Black James,
The Black James.
which sounds like a new character for the show.
I'm not going to play that character.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, this has been a very bold night.
I think so.
It's been a bold night. Sid, how do you feel about this prospect of, out of curiosity, how long would it take you to grow a beard?
My God, it would probably take months based on my experience in high school where I attempted to grow an afro. It would take a long time. I never grew the afro because I got fed up during that phase that you just look like you don't take care of yourself.
Yeah.
I could not
I have
tough it out.
experience with that. Even though I'm not Black James,
Yeah.
as a Jew, we have that in common. I've had when I was a kid, I had a big Jew fro.
You had a Jew fro?
It got big, and then it flopped down, and then I gave up.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like we need to have a fro race to see
Oh my
who
God.
can. Dave's got a bit of length right now.
Yeah, I do. It's coming. It could come along. Although I've had really bad hair issues recently from stress, I think. But we'll save that for the next episode of At Home with
Oh
James.
yeah, because next week I plan to do hair stress night.
Yeah.
So Sid, it sounds like I'm making my final bold prediction that at some point you have a beard in 2021.
2021.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what the future holds.
Well, Sid, I love every time you pop by. I know I say this often, but eventually we are going to have the Dude of the Year election night, and you will be here.
Excellent. I can't wait.
Thanks so much, Sid. Have a good night, buddy.
Later.
That was Sid Rock. Dave, what'd you think? Sid with a beard.
I think it would look great. I think, I like Sid, and never hurts to accessorize a little bit with a little bit of facial hair.
It's true. I think it did wonders for me.
Yeah, and I used to have a mustache, as you can tell, right back here, and did wonders for me too.
I've been meaning to talk about this. I wasn't aware that you were part of an NPR Tiny Desk concert. Who were you performing with?
Well, yeah, this is me at the NPR Tiny Desk, and
let me go through this. So, of course, right over your shoulder, it was you when you had the mustache.
Yeah.
But who's this other fellow that looks just like you beside him?
My brother, Steve
Kaufman.
Steve Kaufman, and then behind
Yep.
Steve is Sting from the Police. And then,
Right in the blue shirt.
Next to him is Shaggy
Right.
of It Wasn't Me fame.
Yeah. What about Sting? Would you like to drop one of his famous songs?
Every little thing she does is magic.
Isn't that a Police song, though?
But I mean, he wrote it.
It's true. Yeah,
and
he
performs
did.
it solo too.
Okay, what songs did you do at this Tiny Desk concert?
We played Beatles covers.
Oh, Beatles covers? Which ones?
Yellow Submarine, and we did that a couple of times.
Oh, so you just did Yellow Submarine on repeat.
Yeah, the remix and then the electronic version.
All right, well, this feels like a good place to end it.
Yeah, maybe.
Earlier on tonight, we had Sehar Manji. Follow her on all of her online platforms. She's always teaching improv classes. Somewhere, somehow, she finds a way.
So great.
Don't forget,
Sehar.
Sid has got a live stream Tuesday, 10 p.m. He's burning the midnight oil.
Sidney's
Dave,
the
anything?
man.
It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
Sid.
Production note, it's on YouTube. Follow him at Real Sid Rock. He links all of his stuff. Dave, anything you want to plug besides your Tiny Desk concert?
Yeah, check it out on YouTube as well, and keep your ear to the ground because I've got some stuff in the works that it's going to be dropping soon.
Dave, we did it. We co-hosted.
That's right.
Well, I
wasn't
want to
so
I want to
bad, was
thank
it?
you.
Huh?
No, it was pretty cool. You know, I know that you've been something you've been looking forward to trying, and then we did it, and it wasn't bad for a first outing.
Yeah. You ever gonna have me back?
Why not? That'd be a bold idea.
All right. Well, I'm gonna lock that in.
All right, let's lock it in. Until then, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. That is Dave. I am James. You are you. We were here, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Until then, good night, goodbye, farewell, and be well.
And I'm playing the song, and it's coming on right now.